Yo, 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 YouTube. How is it going? We got the live show back again. Why are our pictures so small, Charlie? What did you do?
I
Oh,
didn't do anything. I have no
uh,
control anymore. It's
oh,
all the A Train
hold
show.
on. Look at that. See, I can do stuff. Yeah, so sorry we're a little late. I mean, we're always a little late, but there's actually a reason this time. Charlie has had like admin access to my StreamYard account forever, and for whatever reason, tonight he was stripped of all those abilities. So
Like
suspended for bad behavior or something.
literally a minute or two before we were, jumping in here, I refreshed my screen and it just disappeared.
It's wild.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I do have my laptop up and everything, and I have something I wanted to share in presentation anyway. Let me get some cards out of the way. I know, shocker, there's cards sitting on my desk.
Super
Um,
weird.
I know, so weird. So I don't have a lot for topics tonight. I mean, I kind of thought about maybe having a discussion on. I should bring the comments up though. Having a discussion on like year preparing for year end and things like that. But I think we're kind of jumping the gun on that. I don't want to jump past Christmas and all the fun activities and get to the let's plan for taxes. Everyone's favorite topic.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So I think we're going to talk. I want to talk a little bit about the eBay listing tool, the in-app one. I kind of posted it on Discord and just to get some feedback from anybody using it. It didn't sound like there was a lot of people knew about it. It's in a beta, so not everybody can use it.
It's also not really well placed. It's kind of buried.
Yeah, it's in well, when you go to the eBay app, there's like a tools menu. I tried to pull that up.
At the bottom though,
Hmm?
and it's
Yeah.
not by anything else, at least not by anything I usually use. So
Yeah, I tried to find a screen, like a version of it online that I could share so you could see it. I do have
it's on the
kind of a
My eBay page of the app, and then
yes.
all the way at the bottom in the shortcuts.
Yeah, and there's a little green box next to it that says like early access or something like that, I think.
Yeah, mine's actually blue, but it's a little like button that says early access.
Yeah, it says early access. So I know not everybody has it. I'm not sure how they choose who gets it, but
Yeah.
Charlie and I both have it. Did you try it at all?
I did.
I was doing some today. So I wanted to use a card that would be, let's say, a bit of a challenge
Yeah.
for the system. So I used this card. I don't know, you probably can't really see that anyway. But this is a Purple Shock last year optic DJ James rookie.
Mm-hmm.
One of my awesome hits from my break buy-in where I got the Seattle Seahawks. Although they're good this year though. So the reason I liked choosing this card is because it was a parallel, it was a shiny card, a lesser known name, but still a main set, right? So it should be something that would be found. Took a picture of it, found it immediately. Then there's a little button, so it kind of gives you like a generic overview of what it finds for the card. Went really fast, like within 3 seconds, it pulled it up. Then there's a little button that says market analysis. You click on that and it tells you like average sales price. You can look at the recent sold listings. You can look at the what's listed. One of the things I like about it is it tells you how many are listed. So that could be like a super handy tool for a card you're thinking of buying. So think of it in the use of shopping versus the use of listing to sell.
Right.
You're at a show and you get this card. It's a little bulky to look it up by hand, right? Purple Shock optic, blah blah blah. The whole thing. You could quick scan it and hit the market analysis button, and it'll tell you like, hey, this card sells for $3, and so it can kind of give you like a quick market price based on eBay activity, and then you can go to listed, and it'll tell you how many are listed. So even if this card isn't doing that well, but maybe there's only 2 listed, that's a card you might want to jump on because there's not that many available. So that's something that a lot of sellers do outside of cards. I don't think we talk about that or stress on that too much with what we do. Um, well, for other items, like let's say you're a flipper and you're looking at VCRs, right? You find a Goodwill or something. You look up that VCR, and then you look at how many have been listed, how many have been sold. Right, sell through rate becomes more important on stuff like that. So I don't focus a lot on that, but I think that's something that I want to try to do a little bit more of as I settle into less of an aggressive growth mode and more of a like getting quality product and having things that are more liquid and sell for more and blah blah blah, right? Improving inventory is something you focus on as once you're built
Mhm.
at a certain level. So I really like the tool. I'm going to share my screen here. It just kind of gives you an overview of the tool. Like I said, it's not the best. I was trying to figure out how to do a shit like share my phone screen, but I use my phone for the show, and um, and it's hard to take a video of. I have other devices, but it's hard to take a video of a video. And anyway,
Right.
but we kind of told you where it's located. This is sort of the generic review of it. But basically, you can scan your cards. Now they say in this particular um, article, it says type in the game name and select tap to search with your camera. You don't have to do any of that. So when you open this app, you literally it'll open like your camera, function right away. You fit the card in the little box on the screen, and hit the take photo button, and boom, it finds all of that for you.
It adds a little pixie dust while it's
And
processing.
yeah, it does. It's really weird. Yeah, like finding different AI points of the card. I guess I don't know. So anyway, once you do that, it'll pull up some of that immediate identification information. You can hit market analysis, do that, and then you can also hit list. There's a button on the bottom to go ahead to list it, and it'll start the listing for that card. You'll have everything pre-filled in the fields as much as possible, and it'll use the photo that you took to identify the card. So you can update that photo. There's no photo of the back, so you'd probably want to add a photo at least and do a photo of the back. Um, you can obviously edit any of the information in there because basically you're now at the point where it's a listing you're creating. You're outside of the tool and you're just creating a listing. Um, and then you'd want to add a SKU number likely to the bottom of it. But it was super quick. Everything was in there. It was nice to have all the fields filled up ahead of time, especially when, like, again, you got something like this, right? So you've got rookie, parallel, optic. Like, there's all those things that you want to make sure are in that listing for it to be successful. I can stop sharing my screen here. Yeah, let's do that. And so I found it incredibly useful for cards like this. So this is a card I wouldn't scan. Obviously, scanning is still like traditional scanning through the 8170 is still my best route on any of that stuff. But um, doing these types of cards, instead of trying to figure out what the name of the parallel and everything else is, it's easy to just take the picture and do your listing that way. It'll go a lot quicker. So I like it. Now you might want to. I'm not sure if you can just upload a photo to do the scan. I think you have to take a picture. So that'd be like the one downside. So if we want to use like our nice photo box to take the picture, if you want to take the picture and have your logo on it, stuff like that, it's not going to do that. Now, when you get to the actual part of listing, you can change any of the photos in there because, again, you're just doing a listing. So you could remove the photo you use to identify the card in the scan app, and then have a new photo that you'd put in. But now it's going to start, taking you more time and things like that. So part of the reason you would use this is to save your efforts that way. But so maybe it's not great for every card. It's not, um, I think a couple of people in the Discord replied that they had a hard time like finding a certain card they were scanning. I didn't run into that all, but like I said, I only did like a few different cards. This was probably my best example just because it's a little bit outside the norm of what would get listed on eBay. I mean, it isn't a base card, I guess, at least, but um, I don't know that you would need to scan to list a base card. You should be able to just type in brand, player, card number. You don't have to look at the parallels and things.
So I just ran a test while you were talking. You can take an image of a card and upload it into that as well.
There you go. So you could just go take all your images and then just throw them in the scanner after that to help you create your list a little quicker, or listing a little quicker. I know some of you use the bulk listing on eBay, and that's great too. Especially if you have a lot of cards from the same set or something like that, it does speed that up going that route versus doing scan by scan. But like I said, this is more of a tool for, specific cards you're not going to scan and things like that. Again, this type of card for me would be perfect to use that with. Of course, it's free, so there's that. I like the fact that it's right in the app because that's the only thing I do when I list cards on eBay, or the only thing I use. I don't use the desktop version or anything of eBay, so super handy to get right in it and do some photos and list a card. So if you have a card with a lot of complicated listing stuff, like I said, where it's got parallel and a certain name of a parallel, and then it's a rookie, and then it's you have all these fields you want filled in, that would speed that along. So now that you've tried it, Charlie, what do you think?
I think it's got possibilities. To me, it's not ready for prime time. Did you try to list something from it yet?
I did. Yeah, I listed a card.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about the format. I would definitely be changing the title.
Sure.
I did not have great success finding matches unless it was the basiest of base cards. So, and then just it still takes some time to
Sure.
get a good picture in it too, especially if you have like autofocus on and stuff. You got to hold it just right to get a good picture of it. And I think of when I would use it. So maybe I'm digging through a box and I see a card and I'm like, I think that might have potential, but I'm not real familiar with it. And I might want to snap a picture versus typing things in. That's great. That's exactly what I would want. Something quick and efficient to double check something that, doesn't have me spending an extra 5 minutes at a box trying to punch in a bunch of things.
Yeah. Like I said, I think this tool could actually be handy while you're buying versus just the listing, because it's like a quick scan tool for that.
Right.
I think it's handy for cards like this. Like, I don't know the names of all these parallels. I don't memorize all that stuff. I don't even know how you could. So for me, it was like, oh, Purple Shock Optic. Like, yeah, that's the card right there. It kind of takes away some of the guessing game or time it would take to do some other research, to get the information that you need. So I like it. I think it has potential. I still do listing with my phone. I do scan more than I did before. I've expanded my acceptance of scanning Chrome cards and things like that, but there are definitely cards that I still want to photograph. I'm hoping some cards that maybe Card Dealer Pro can't identify. It could help with that, because I do have cards that I set aside that I can't, find through Card Dealer Pro. Maybe eBay would be able to get it. So I think it's applicable for certain little stacks of cards within your big stacks of cards.
Yeah, it's got specific use cases. I like that you mentioned that, situation if Car Dealer Pro doesn't match it. Like I was actually right before the show, I was uploading some and listing some Wild cards, and they were those collection poster inserts, but
Yeah.
it wouldn't recognize it. And oddly enough, I didn't find it in the checklist on like TCB or anything. So when I can't find something, I'll actually go out there and look for other listings and see what the consensus name is. But you're right, that app would work well for that too.
And if you can use the right picture right off the bat, if it finds it, you simply list it. You don't have to. It's not. There's other scanning tools out there. I get it. Like this isn't inventing the wheel.
Right.
I think we all understand that. The catch is the fact that it's right in the app. You can literally use it to find the information you need. Okay, great. I want to list it, and then boom, all the info is in there. You're right. It might not be exactly the way you would list the title and things like that. You might have to still kind of plunk a few things in.
Yeah.
But putting all the information in, it takes away a lot of that from you.
Yeah.
And you could easily get through that card and move on to the other cards that are identifiable easily.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't use that to list over CDP. I would still take my pictures and load it into CDP. But if I was out of scans for the month, would I use it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably would.
This guy's out of scans for the month right here.
I'll tell you the one thing that
I'm trying to point to myself. It's harder to do when you're looking at yourself than you'd think.
The one thing
I have to go that way, but it's like I'm pointing at me, but I'm pointing at you. Wait. Anyway,
we're derailed.
Yeah, I know. It happens.
The one thing that stops me from using a lot of standalone tools for listing is actually this setup in Car Dealer Pro. Right now, if you want to import listings from like eBay, it's all or nothing. You can't say I just want to import these 10 that I just added, right?
Yeah.
If it could do that, I would probably use those standalone tools a lot more frequently.
And that's a good point. So like if you use this tool to make a listing, it's not going to go to Whatnot or Collects or any of that. And I had 17 orders on Whatnot today. This is the most it's the most I've ever had. So it's like, it's becoming, more and more apparent that spread out, listing to other platforms is definitely beneficial.
For me, it's the opposite with Collects. Like Collects is becoming more of a player for me.
Yeah, and I do a lot less with Collects. I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah.
And it had a great interaction there today. It really reminded me we all do this to make some money, but it was also a part of why I choose this to make money, right? Because there's a lot of other things. But I got a message from the buyer after I accepted his offer, and he said, you can tell this left a mark with me if I'm reading it on the show, but thank you very much. My dad has been looking for some Beatles cards since he lost them when he was a kid. I really appreciate it. It's going to be a good Christmas. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think that's where Collects has an advantage. It's a little bit more conversational. I get a lot more messages from people in Collects.
Yeah.
They'll even say like, "Oh, somebody had posted this image in a chat," and then I go look, and they're like, "Oh, is this card that? Or can you ship this right away?" Like, I feel like it's more conversational.
Yeah.
Than even I don't get much in Whatnot. I just get sales and I ship them out or offers.
But
but Collects feels
kind of shows me what I often say about the value box type cards. Like we're selling memories a lot of times versus the big flips, that's all about the ROI. But someone buying 6 Beatles cards that I've got out there for $1.99 each, those are memories they're buying, right?
Yeah, and when you're selling $1.99 cards, you're selling to an end user. So either a collector, or in your case, somebody buying for a collector, or somebody who would, want to possess the cards, not see it as an investment or anything like that. But yeah, I think those two platforms are becoming more and more important to me on my selling journey, more than I thought it would have been at this point. But also the fact that I only have to have one account on each and I can just keep pumping listings into it. I like that part. So all my non-sport and my sport are in one Whatnot store and one Collect store, versus having to kind of split them up with eBay. Because what does eBay do that's really dumb, Charlie?
They limit your listings.
Yeah, that's how can they not figure this out by now? Like this giant ass company that's
Don't
been
they
around
just
for a long
listen to
time.
you?
I know, and I have these great ideas and they don't do it, and then Whatnot does it. So now I list my stuff there. It's like you guys are missing the boat, um, but yeah. So I think it's a great tool. I'm going to the KI show on Saturday,
Okay.
for a little while, and I'm gonna try it
Actually,
out
at
there.
Oneida this time, isn't it?
Oh, is that what it is?
I
I don't
think
know.
so.
Wherever it is, I don't know. I'm going to be going on Saturday. I think this is the KI show, isn't it? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I have to look it up. But either way, I'm going. So I'll be there for a few hours, and I'm like, yeah, this would be a great time to kind of try out that tool and see how it goes. Hell, you could list it right at the show.
Right.
You could scan it, buy it, list it. Maybe get the thing gone by the time you leave the show. If you find something hot. So I like it. I think it's a step up. I think it's an effort from eBay to try to compete with a little bit, more modern tools, using more AI, things like that. So,
Yeah.
and it's free. So, why not try it out?
Looks like you're right. It is at the KI this weekend.
Yeah. I'm usually right, Charlie. So
I haven't been looking real close because, again, I'm going out of town, so I won't be there.
Yeah. Well, and the reason I knew that too is because we normally get a table for this show.
Yeah.
So we were kind of discussing like, do we want to? So I have some stuff to do in the afternoon, some family things to do. So it didn't make sense and you're obviously out of town, so that put you out anyway.
Didn't you appreciate the fact that you asked me if we wanted a table, and I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And then Mrs. JC3 has to step in and say, idiot, you're out of town.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point we both just realized we just need to ask wives because they know what's going on. We kind of don't, but speak of the devil, we have like 7 tables left now, I guess, for the show.
Yeah.
So our initial table sellout, and then adding some tables. So contact us if you're looking for a table at the Goat Show, because going gone. Hey, I see you got appended. Do I have to click it though, right?
Yeah,
You can't do stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and share this. We'll share the little card show picture. Where the heck is it? Oh. Stop screen? What the heck does that mean? Present. Share screen. Okay. That was weird. It said I was still presenting under something else. I don't know. Let's see. Which one is it? Oh, I can't do it that way. I have to, because you have it set here, so I have to send it to the stage. Okay. Now I get it. I've never done it where you brought it up and then I share it. Normally you would share your own stuff, but all right. Yeah. Anyway, so we're learning the tech as we go here. The Goat Card Show Sunday, January 4th. We did confirm with BB Breaks. We'll have some breaks there. Don't know what they're going to be yet. Trying to figure that out. Get that info out soon. We have the Aaron Jones autographed on-field jersey. As the big prize, we're collecting food donations and cash donations to get entries into winning that jersey. And we have collecting food as for the donation portion of our charitable efforts for the show. And then 9 to 2 is the show. Riverside Ballroom as usual. Charlie and I will do a live show from the stage. Kind of show off some of our buys, and the breakers will be on the stage, so with the monitors, so you can come watch some breaks and buy into some fun live breaks if you like that sort of thing. Lots of activities and entertainment. It's going to be a crappy day, most likely, based on how winter's been going so far. It's either going to be really snowy or really cold. Like this winter's been already been kind of rough up here. So great day to come out. It's free. We've got our Heidi goats. So you find the goats, you get $5 in goat cash to spend at the show. If you find the golden goat, you get $20. So,
Goldie.
yeah, so some free money for you.
Gold.
We'll have our hashtag banner up so you can get some pictures taken with your goodies and share it to the page, and we'll celebrate that with you as well as the winners of the drawing. So we'll have some other things in the drawing too to give away. We just don't usually throw that on the poster. The big thing is the Aaron Jones autographed jersey. We have an ATM on site. There's going to be food there. And as per usual, we don't know what the menu is going to be. It's part of the fun of the show. At this point, we just enjoy that part of it. When they roll out the little, dry erase board saying what they've got today, that's when we know what the menu is going to be.
We just know
So
it's
hopefully,
all good.
right. It's all very tasty and it's all very fairly priced. And obviously, if it's not something you're into, or there isn't anything on the menu for you, we're across the street from a McDonald's, down the road from a Kroll's, which is a historic Green Bay kind of bar food restaurant, if you will. So there's hotel accommodations nearby. So if you're coming from out of town and need some help with that, let us know, and we can get you sorted that way. Show you a bit around town. Lambeau is kind of interesting in January. It's a good place to visit. The peak of the season. Looks like the Packers are going to be in the playoffs, so could still be in some football hunt at that time. So it's going to be good.
They might still have their holiday lights show up too. I feel like that usually goes a week or two after Christmas.
I was going to mention that. We just went to the. Do you ever go to that?
Yeah, every year we usually go.
Yeah, we do. We do two every year. We just went this past Friday. It's a good little show. The main character is a little sloth walking around, so it's kind of fun. But they have fireworks, and it's a big video projection on the side of Lambeau, and there's hot chocolate and adult hot chocolate you can purchase while you're watching the light show. And yeah, it's a good time. So January is actually kind of a neat time to be in Green Bay. It's sort of a time when we shine. It's winter is a special thing here, so looking forward to that. I think the show is going to be great. January 4th is a great date. Hopefully all your Christmas celebrations, your New Year celebrations, those are all complete. You got all your money gifts in, and you got money to spend for the show. Dealers also always want us to remind you that they're also buying, so you don't have to just go if you're looking to buy. If you got cards to sell or trade, they're looking to do that business as well. So something for everybody. We'll do a live show from there, so those who can't attend in person, we can share the experience with you as best we can, and have another successful show. Looking forward to it.
Heck yeah.
All right, so let me see if I can stop sharing this.
I think I can take it down. I just couldn't put it up. There you go.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I do all the hard work, and then you just take it down. I see how it is.
Well,
Yeah. So that was, to be honest with you, that was like my topic for tonight. I just wanted to talk about that app. I feel like there's more that people wanted to say about it, so I wanted to have it, just kind of bring it up, go over the high points of it, and then kind of see if we get some chat about it and opinions and go from there.
So, side note on you kind of reminded me when we were going over the Packers memorabilia for the GOAT show there. I was in Dick's today and just getting some holiday gifts, and I noticed they had a display with a box of Micah Parsons retail items. So it was like what was it? A pin, and it was like 5 different collectible items, all themed around Micah Parsons in a little box for like $30. Have you seen those before?
I have not.
It was kind of a cool idea. There was only Micah Parsons. I saw no other players, but a themed box like that seems to have a lot of potential. Like, I'm surprised we haven't seen something like that before, and especially it would lend itself to cards as well.
Yeah, and maybe that's not a bad idea for us ourselves as show promoters, like items to pick up to do for giveaways and things, because it's
Yeah.
kind of themed and boxed and ready to go. Yeah, I'll have to try to check that out, see if I can get over there.
And it
I
was
haven't been
at
to
one of
Dick's in a
those,
while.
little island stands right by the
Hmm.
card.
Yeah.
So you can't miss it when you go in there. That the whole island was filled with
Do you
them. So it's cool.
do you remember what it cost?
I want to say it was about $30.
Okay, that's not
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't do more players. I mean, Micah Parsons isn't a terrible choice, but usually you have, the quarterback at least, or
Wow. Yeah.
Josh Jacobs, or something like that.
Hmm.
So it's interesting that it's just Micah.
Yeah.
And it's Packer items, I assume, right? Not Cowboys.
Correct.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
It
Um,
Given the timing of it and the fact that there was only Micah Parsons, I feel like this was an idea after we acquired him that took a while to put together.
sure.
And it's new, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And they're just testing it out, see how it goes. I'm sure if it does well, you're going to see more of that stuff.
Try to take advantage of that big hype cycle with that move.
Right, right. I mean, the guy's a monster, so it makes sense, I guess. He's not
Mm-hmm.
going anywhere. It kind of reminds me, and we talked about this early on when we were like, "Oh my God, they got Micah Parsons. How did that happen?" But it even like through the season now, and kind of as it's building closer to playoffs, and he has performed well and all that. It just really gives that Reggie White vibe, you know.
Yeah.
Back in that early '90s, where the Packers were so terrible before that, and he came in and it was like, oh my gosh, we got a chance. And then he was so good and, made everybody else better. And just like a good, and it's not just the play on the field. Like he has that leadership quality, right? And the pump up and, hey, we can do this kind of thing.
Yep.
Um, and I feel like Micah kind of has that too. So it's interesting. We'll see how far they can go with it, I guess. But still a very young team. So, if you have him there for leadership, and I mean, you just kind of got thrown into the mix this year, right? A trade like 3 weeks before the season started or something. But even if they don't, do as well as they want to do this year, how much is that going to be for potential for next year, where he's in the off season, he can kind of have some influence on things that they do and stuff to get improve at the end of the year. So anyway,
Yeah.
enough about Micah Parsons, I guess. Everybody knows about him. So should
Everybody
we do
knows you
some
got to
chat?
hold him, stop him.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because what I read a stat about him today, that something about false starts or something, and like he still has all those sacks and rushes and everything else. Like, I don't know, and he gets triple teamed, which is bizarre to me. Like, when I don't watch a lot of football, I know it's crazy because I sell cards, but I don't generally watch the games. But I watch highlights, so I know what's going on. I just don't watch full games. But a lot of the plays I watch it and I'm like, man, there's like three guys on him. How do you even do that? And
There are players that are so unique, you have to game plan everything around them.
yeah, so it's like, wow, how do you double team? I kind of get that. Reggie got a lot of that too.
Yeah.
Lawrence Taylor, any of those big impact defensive players like that. But triple, they throw one guy in the center just to kind of like back it up, right, in case he gets through, and then you have a double team on him besides. I'm like, geez,
Yeah.
How the heck are you going to defend everybody else? Well, that's the problem, right?
Yep.
So it's not necessarily Micah getting all the results, although he is getting good results. It's how much it opens it up for your teammates. All right, should we get to some chat?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right, designated heckler cards is here. He says first heckle. I like it. That's fun. Let's see. Let's think of some good heckles. How about what about Happy Gilmore, right? Doesn't he say jackass? Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um All right. Very, what does it say? What up, happy
Hump
hump
day.
day. Hump day. Hey, Mike. Hey, Mike. Hey, Mike. What day is it?
Guess what?
Hump
Guess what?
day. I miss those commercials. They got super annoying, and then I was sad when they went away. Charlie's deleting stuff again. Yeah, that's kind of the way I see it too, Dan. I don't know. I think he was just like, this is just too much responsibility. I'm just going to tell him I can't do this anymore. You know, put it back on me, which it's fine. I guess it's my channel. So, I'll take that on. But yeah, it's Charlie being Charlie, right?
Yep. It's all me.
You know, it sidebar, not blaming Charlie actually. StreamYard, every time I pull up to do a new video, it seems like they changed something. They added something, they took something away, something cost
Lately,
something.
anyway.
Yeah, and so it's like I go to just set up my basic show, which we do every week, and it's like, okay, I can't do that now, or I can do this, or hey, what is this? Or I even go to set up the show and like I get these pop-ups and I have to like say, okay, yep, I get it, I get it, I get it. Now you got to pay for this, or now you can do this background thing, and it's like, dude, just keep it the same for like a month. And it wasn't like that when we first started on here. So they really ramped it up. I don't know, must need money or something. Lofi Joe says it saves what you scan too. Okay, yep. That's good. Yeah, I don't know. I'm more of a 1-by-1 guy. Like I know Charlie does like a whole bunch of photos and then he'll do listing link, at another time. I think it could be handy for that because you could just take the photo and throw it in there. So I think either way, whether you're doing it 1-by-1 or you want to do like a chunk of stuff at a time, since you don't have to take a photo, you can use a saved photo. I think that's kind of an advantage, especially over some other listing program options. Keith says, yo, what's up, fellas?
What up, Keith?
Yo, yo, yo. Ooh, he uploaded a video on this feature 2 weeks ago. Works great. Waiting on that non-sport though. Yeah, non-sport is always gets left in the dust. It's so annoying. I'm sure it's coming. I think this feature actually started with TCG cards. And got expanded to sports cards. So I would imagine non-sport will be there at some point. Although, correct me if I'm wrong because I don't really use it, but I don't think the eBay bulk still does non-sport, does it? I believe it's only sport.
I haven't used the bulk lister in quite some time.
Yeah, so anybody who uses that, if you can let me know, but I think it's just sports. And TCG probably. I don't think it has any non-sport stuff to it, but anyway, we'll have to check out your video, Keith. I'm sure it's a lot more in depth, features and displays and stuff than what we're doing here. We're just kind of doing the high end of it, but yeah. So I'll look forward to that. I'll go check it out. And Keith also says it works best for listing with already saved pictures in your gallery, and that's good segue. That's kind of what I was just talking about, was using it where you're going to list later, or Charlie likes to do that when we drive somewhere. I'll drive and he'll take his photos and he'll do listing and things, and I think it could be a good product to use to do that. Am I right?
Yeah, I think absolutely. So that becomes AI software that you can list on the run, and you don't have to do the work of looking it up yourself. So I think that's a great use case for it.
Yeah, I agree. Designated Heckler says, seems like CDP has a leg up on eBay even with the new tool because of the ability to list across platforms. Yeah, definitely something. Yeah, it's something we touched on. CDP, I felt early on had value. Okay, so my history with CDP because I've been around a long time. When CDP 1.0 came out, it was not very good. I was like, I'm not using this. It didn't find card information very well. The scanning was clunky, listing was clunky, and it just didn't seem like it had enough value. I think they did like a 1.1 and a 1.2, still not enough there. 2.0 came out, and I was like, all right, this is solid. Like, you can use this now. And, at that point, Charlie and I were like, do we want to get a scanner and split? And because Car Dealer Pro had come along far enough, I was like, okay, it makes a lot of sense now. And, they've been adding a lot of features and doing things like that since then. And we've looked at a lot of other products, what's the other one? Chronozio. I don't know. I always get the word wrong. But I looked into that listing software, the eBay bulk listing tool. Like, there's a bunch of different things that we've kind of poked around with, and so far I haven't found anything that competes with Car Dealer Pro to that level. And then they added the multi-platform listing, and that just blows it out of the water. Like, that makes it worth every
event for them too, though, Adam. This was huge for you.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
They built out non-sport.
Yep. Non-sport was big. Yeah, they've continually really tried to improve the product, and they listen to us, and we have ideas and things we want to see. And so I agree with you. I don't see any of these types of things replacing Car Dealer Pro for me. I believe now, especially, you get pretty good value for what you're paying them. And it's easy to use. I never get on there and go like, how do I run Car Dealer Pro? Like, it's pretty, we don't even get a lot of questions from others anymore. Like, early on when we started using Car Dealer Pro, people would be like, well, how do you do this? Or how do you do that? Now it's like, we don't even get questions about Car Dealer Pro. What we get in the Discord is when Car Dealer Pro isn't working. That is still an issue with them, constantly playing with stuff. And one of the problems I think with software like that, and this is just kind of an overall review of listing programs, is they depend so much on information from other sources, right, for their product to work. So I think it's easy to say, well, like, Car Dealer Pro is down, it's not recognizing photos, and I don't know. It could be something on another side of it too that it's not Car Dealer Pro.
Like
that's
AWS.
Necessarily. Yeah, because they're getting data from different places, and even when you're listing, like, now it's so nice, you just hit list to eBay and it's done. We don't have to do the CSV files. We used to have to do that, right? Download them. And but sometimes I notice, and what's really weird is sometimes it doesn't work with collects. I'll try to upload and it doesn't go to collects. I'm like, how does that work? It's your own products. Like, it's your own two pieces of software. They should always talk to each other. But I think there's enough that has to really fit together in order for those listings to go, that, that's just a challenge at times. And you just kind of have to be patient, step away for a little bit, come back, and then everything should be going again. But yeah, I agree that, that's something we mentioned earlier on in the broadcast here tonight, was the advantage of the extra platforms.
Yeah.
And now with Shopify. So Charlie's right. I've been kind of putting it off as far as doing the inventory side, because I have to download all of the eBay listings and all of the eBay listings from the other eBay account, and then send them all to the Shopify store. So I've been kind of postponing that to try to, because at some point when I download them all, it's going to be whatever I just did anyway. So if I keep listing to eBay, I'll still be able to send those to the Shopify store without any extra effort. So
yeah,
but it'll be nice because I'll be able to scan a batch and then just hit list to collects, list to eBay, list to whatnot, list to Shopify, and boom, it's everywhere. Those are the 4 platforms I see, to me, as being the most useful for what I'm trying to sell. So I think they kind of hit the nails on the head with what they're working on. So that's my pump for Car Dealer Pro. I know some of you think we shill Car Dealer Pro, but you know what? If I have a product I use and I like it, I'll tell you about it. And we don't get paid by Car Dealer Pro. We don't get any, other than I do have a promo code. It's $box. So if you haven't used Card Dealer Pro and you want to try it, you go there, you put in $box, they'll give you 500 free scans. So I do have a referral code, but outside of that, we're not compensated by them or anything. We like the product, we use it, and we've been fortunate enough to be able to kind of be in on conversations with features they're looking at and providing feedback, and been in on beta tests and stuff like that, and that matters to me because I feel like they truly want to know what we think.
Yeah, and I mean, somebody come up with something better, we'll talk about that too.
Yeah, loyalty goes to a certain point, and then if your product doesn't hold up, then you gotta we're constantly reviewing different options, just like tonight, right? We just talked about the eBay listing tool. Wasn't really looking for it, but it's plunking around with some stuff, and Charlie's right, it kind of gets buried in there in the app, and I said, hey, I'm gonna spend a little time on this today and kind of see how it works, and if I like it, if I feel like it's something that we want to discuss. And I did. I felt like there was enough qualifying points to it that I was surprised at how well it worked, to be honest with you. I always feel like eBay just, they're not a cards
things to market.
Yeah, because they're a general market, right? So like for them to be really good at something that cards, works with cards it's not what they do. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised, and seemed relatively easy to use.
So we had gotten a notification on it, I don't know, was it 2, 3, maybe even 4 weeks ago?
Yeah, it was a few weeks ago now.
I remember when it came out, I wanted to check it out. I could not find it, and I eventually just gave up. I was like, oh, I must not be part of the beta. It wasn't until just recently that I went out and took another look and finally found it. I mean, I really feel it's buried in there.
And I would imagine they'll stand it out a little bit more when it's like the real version. They're just right now it's just kind of like it's in like their projects pool, right? So yeah, you have like these features kind of at the bottom of the list where it's like, well, I try this out now. The only reason it stands out a little bit is because it has that little like, free trial kind of thing, pre-trial kind of thing, next to the button. But yeah, you have to kind of look at it, and it doesn't even say scan a list, doesn't it? Say like scan something, scan. What is it called?
Yeah, it is scandalous, isn't
Is it scandalous? Okay.
Not
Scan.
scandalous.
No. No.
It just says scan cards. That's all.
Scan cards. Scan
And
cards.
then
I
it
knew
has
it.
a
I
tagline
didn't
that
say
says scan, price, and collect sports cards.
correct.
And you can add it to your collection from there too.
Right. So I think that was why it was kind of easy to gloss over too, because it's like scan cards. Well, that's not really what you're going to be doing if you're the seller. You're going to scan it to list it. So to me, it's scan to list. And you're right, it does sound scandalous, which is even awesomer. But yeah, you guys give it a try. By the way, if you're not on the Discord, the link's going to be coming across on the bottom here shortly with the referral code. Join our Discord. There's a lot of good active talk on there. And, if you try this out or you have been using it, whatever the case may be, pop on our Discord, and under the eBay discussions, there's some talk about it right now, and provide your feedback. Much appreciated. And others will talk about it too. It's a conversational place. Lofi Joe says, I always put the player's name first.
Oh, I think you skipped over designated heckler cards. He started this thread.
Oh, did I?
Go back to. There you go.
For listing titles, the industry standard is year, product, the name. Why isn't it better to list player name first? And Joe says he lists player name first. I don't. I do year, set, player name, and then any details on that specific card. So parallel, the number, the short print, whatever it is. Then I do card number, and then I do team. Basically my layout.
Yeah, I mean, this has kind of just been the evolution of the hobby.
Yeah.
Um, Collectors eventually set the standard of set first, and a lot of that is because of bulk sorting.
Yeah.
You think like if you do a search for Julio Rodriguez, how many different sets does he have a card in? Even though he's a young player yet, right? But then eBay's algorithm was designed around that standard convention too. And ultimately, you got this perfect mix of both collectors, sellers, and the eBay algorithm all built around that format. So now it's too late to really change it, right? Like it's
Yeah. I to some degree I like the year too because rookie cards are such a important piece of cards. So like to your point, Julio Rodriguez, right? Well, I don't want to look at his 2023 cards. I want to look at his
yeah,
2020
yeah,
Bowman draft, right? So you want to look at like all the rookie,
yeah,
I don't know. It kind of doesn't matter, right? Because if you go to eBay and you just type in Julio Rodriguez, you're going to get everything.
right.
It's not going to sort it by year, or make you look at it by year or anything. If you type in 2000, 21 Julio Rodriguez, it should bring up all those cards from that year that are listed. So I don't know that it's as relevant as we make it seem as far as the order. I believe all those pieces in the listing are important, but the order of it, probably not as much.
So it's not the end all be all, but I will say because the eBay algorithm and search engine has been designed around that. So let's just level set. The standard is year, brand, set, subset, player, parallel, and card number. That's
Yep.
that's
And
industry
team.
standard. Because all those other things are built around that, and the eBay search engine puts more weight on the earlier things, buyers have kind of become creatures of habit where they search by the year and the brand and the set now. You're going to get better, faster results following that format. And your listings are going to hit those search results more frequently and in a better position spot if you follow that.
There you go. Yeah, I don't. And okay, well, I always put the player's name first. I think that's fine. I don't.
It'll work. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I don't think it's knocking you off any pedestal if you do it that way. Make sure you still put in the year, the set,
Yeah.
the make, the parallel, the card number. As long as you have all those things in there, I think you're fine. But
Yeah.
yeah,
From a search engine perspective, though, you follow the standard and you've got A plus results. Mess with it a little bit, you might end up with a B plus.
right.
How much you're going to notice the difference? I don't know that you will, right? But there is a little
Yeah,
bit of subtle difference.
yeah. I've always done year, brand, set. Like I don't know. That's how Card Dealer Pro looks at it when you scan into, and it's building your listing. And I don't know. It just Charlie's right. It's just always kind of been. I mean, I've been doing cards on eBay for you know for fun. If you go back to the fun years of just doing it,
Yeah.
20 some years, it's like it's always been year first and then set, and so
Yeah.
it's not new.
And the why did it become that? Again, I think it goes back to bulk sorting for both buyers and
Yeah,
sellers. You get a big box of cards, how do you naturally start sorting things?
right, exactly. Joe says, while posting cards last night, I noticed eBay finally gave me the option of listing the card year as 2026. That's crazy.
It's here.
It's here. What's even funnier about that is they have barely put out any of the 2025 products.
Yeah.
So you're still going to be listing 2025, for most of 2026.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, card companies are crazy right now. It seems to be more caught up now that it's more tops branded stuff. I mean, we haven't quite got the football over there yet, but it feels like they're getting more towards current year than what it was. Um, let's see. Designated Heckler says in the past you said quantity listings were great for sales to hit the algorithm. Now you don't list quantity, so you can use CDP cross platforms. Yeah, for the most part, I like to have the individual listed card because it'll take it out of the inventory. Um, if you use inventory management, Card Dealer Pro. So the problem with, if you have 12 copies listed, if it sells on whatnot, it's going to take it out of the inventory, and then you have to kind of adjust all your numbers. Versus if you scan all 12 copies of that card individually, it'll cancel just the one. So you have to decide what your preference is. Though the older listings that I've put out there where I do have quantities listed, it definitely, the algorithm does matter. As a matter of fact, it's funny you mentioned that because I'm trying to take down, let's see, how do I want to put this? So what I would do is when my packs, right? Because I use the SKU and it's like 50 cards in a pack with a number on it, right? SKU number. When I would get down to like 4 or 5 cards, I'd take them out of that pack, put them in a different pack, and put new SKUs in eBay. I stopped doing that because again, the inventory management, it's a pain when you cancel it, and then it cancels it on whatnot and everything else. So anyway, so I stopped doing that now, and I'm like, you know what, screw it. If there's one card left, who cares? It can stay in the bag it's in, and it goes in the drawer. And I've had this Favre base card, Pinnacle Mint, that I had probably 8 copies of up till last week. They were uploaded sometime in April of 2024, so it's not like it's a new listing, but it catches fire. So I had 1 or 2 sell, and then I had a couple more sell, and then I pulled one this morning for an order, and I was like, man, I have 1 card left. I have 1 card in a baggie, and I'm putting it in the drawer. It felt so weird. And lo and behold, the last copy sold today. So as a matter of fact, here's the actual baggie. So I took the last one out to fill the order. Here's the baggie. I will go ahead and reuse this, baggie with a new set of listings. But yeah, so I don't really mess with my listings like I used to because it's managed somewhere outside of eBay now due to the other platforms. It's hard enough to keep track of them, and then okay, one sells here, and then I got to remove it over there, and so I'm trying to make that as easy as possible on myself. It's and I said 12 copies. It's pretty rare I would have a card where I get 12 copies of it anymore. I used to do more buying of that kind of bulk, but I don't see that as much anymore. So I might have like 2 or 3 copies of a card I pick up. It's not that big a deal if you list each one individually. So
yeah, I still occasionally like if I have double digit copies of a card, I'll probably set them aside and list them separately.
Yes.
But if I just have 2 or 3 or 4, I just grab one every day and list it as a single.
Same.
And then when it gets to the SKU bags, I never really did moving them to new bags like you did. What I always did is I would just consolidate with the next bag, and I usually had enough room where I would just write a date range on that bag versus the one date.
Yeah, the one reason I did like going back in there is because let's say I had a whole bag of cards and there's only 3 cards left that didn't sell. I wanted to make sure they were actually listed, or you know what I'm saying? Because like you could hang on to those cards forever if you never put them anywhere. If you never listed them. So it was more of like inventory control for me than anything else. But in the case of the card today, I knew for a fact it was listed because I had sold other copies of that same card.
Yeah.
But yeah, just trying to make things simpler. And a couple times like I moved them from one bag to a different bag, but then I never updated the SKU number in eBay, so that was kind of a problem. And if you end listing sell similar, now the date disappears that you originally listed it, so that doesn't help you to try to find it. So I'm not really doing end listing sell similar anymore either because of that, because it kind of messes with your SKUs when you're using dates. So yeah, just some things. I'm never, if you're going to be a good business owner, business manager, you're never going to go, this is what I do. This is exactly what I do. And forever, this is what I'm going to do. Because you have to change all the time.
Yeah.
and be flexible and be willing to go, okay, how can I make this more efficient? Okay, how can I cut my expenses here? Okay, how can I, list this better? How can I do it faster? How can I build branding? Like there's all these things that constantly have to go through your head that you have to review on a regular basis. And some of those procedures that you're talking about that I talked, in the past, like this is what I'm doing, this works great, and I get these extra sales, just isn't as applicable now as it was at that time.
Yeah. Speaking of systems, which, as we know, as a buy it now seller, systems are extremely important. Our buddy Dan, who I think we saw in the chat here already tonight, he was talking to me earlier this week, and he's had a little bit of an enlightening moment on our SKU system. He was chatting with me, and he said, I never really thought too much about your SKU system until I got this 8170. And now that I'm scanning a lot more cards and listing a lot more cards, I realize the importance and the value of that SKU system.
Yeah, we've all been there. So don't worry, Dan. It's not like you weren't figuring it out. It's when we all had one shoebox of cards, we didn't really care. You
Right.
could dig through them and find the card, and no big deal. When you end up with three, fireproof cabinets full of stuff, yeah, that's a total difference. You
Yeah.
need to, because the efficiency gets lost really, really fast.
Mm-hmm.
You end up spending more time digging for cards than anything else. And I don't mind that part of the business so much, but it's not my favorite. I don't want to spend all my time doing that. I want to list cards. I want to do these shows and talk about new things and get on the Discord and, you know, buy new products and stuff like that. That's the things that most people want to do, in the business. So
Yeah.
try to cut down the labor tasks as much as possible, and skewing does that.
Right. Speaking of efficiencies and time spends, and one of our favorite topics, did you have a card this week that you had trouble finding? What was your card that was hiding on you?
Let's see, did I did. I had a batch, and it was just like a week ago. So that was the nice part. It was fresh in my head. But I had a whole batch that I scanned in and never gave it a SKU. I just
Yeah.
uploaded it with the Car Dealer Pro SKU. So, I mean, I knew it was recent enough because I kind of remembered listing it, and then it did have like the generic letters and numbers. So I'm like, well, I obviously did this with the modern Car Dealer Pro because they put a
Yep.
SKU in it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's where the listing date made a lot of sense. I just went into the listing and found out, okay, it's listed on, November 28th. Okay, I have 3 bags I uploaded that day. I'll look in the 3 bags and it's going to be in one of those 3.
Right.
And the cards were right where, they were supposed to be, minus my effort of putting a SKU in. But that's one of the things I don't like about Dealer Pro automatically assigning a SKU now. Because back in the day, what I did was I removed the generic SKU that they would put in there on purpose, so that when I would go to list, it would automatically, make it a yellow dot, right, for each listing, because I didn't have a SKU in there. So it would always make me catch it. Like, okay, well, why are these yellow? Oh, I didn't put the SKU in yet. Okay, I'll go add, the SKU for this batch. And I don't have that like checks and balances now. So I have to make sure I go put a SKU in there before I upload it. This was the first time I ever like totally didn't put anything in.
Yeah.
But I could see that happening, on occasion.
Yeah, I do it once in a while. I usually don't end up fixing it because I'm usually listing on the SKU date.
Yep.
So as long as my listing date matches,
Right.
I just go by that. But
And I didn't fix it either. I mean, there's plenty more cards in the bag, but I'm not going to go look all those up and change them all.
it's difficult to fix. You basically have to tear your listing down and redo it.
Or go into each individual listing and update the SKU, through eBay. Well,
Yeah.
I think you can do it in the inventory management too, and it should correct it. But yeah, it's
Hmm.
a pain.
Feel like I failed at that. Well, for
Yeah.
me, my hidden card this week was a Devonte Adams Panini Gold Ice Prism that yesterday I was looking for, and I've talked about this before. I always set a time limit. Here's how long I'm going to look for this before I just, suck it up and message the buyer that I couldn't source it, so I was down to that last 30 seconds. I'm like, I can look in this bag one more time. It should be here. I didn't sell any Davante Adams recently, so it should be there. And I found it stuck against another card in the bag. But I had gone through that bag probably 4 times. I went through 3 bags on either side of it a couple of times.
Yep.
It was an older listing from 24. So I thought, well, maybe I listed 24 and it was actually 25 or something.
Yep, I've done that too. I had the wrong year on it. Yeah.
But I found it on the last try.
And it feels so good when you find it because you're like, yes, now I can finish this.
I was like, this is just like Davante sneaking behind the secondary.
Right.
Nobody can see him back there.
Yeah, back when he was good, yeah. Keith says
well with the Rams.
Huh?
He's doing pretty well again with the Rams.
He is, yeah. Best part of the scan feature is less thumbing my phone. It works great when pricing cards to prep for a show. It helps save me a lot. Oh, that's a good idea too. Help me save me time typing action. Yeah, you just keep scanning the cards and putting a price on them. So good point. So I think that was something I really wanted to point out was like, okay, you don't have to just use this for listing. This is not a bad little like card identifying program. One of the things I like about it too is it shows you the sold listings history is for eBay. And that matters more to me than what it's sold on some other platform because that's where I'm going to sell the card.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's more relevant to like where my business would be. That in the number of active listings. I thought that was really cool. That's a super neat feature in my opinion because like this card is not super rare, but it's not super common. It's not going to have a lot of listing attraction because it's not a big name. But I'm like, well, if I'm going to list this, I want to like, is there 5,000 other copies of this thing listed on eBay? Do I even want to spend my time? And I go on there and there's only 3 people with it listed. I'm like, all right, I can throw a couple bucks on this and I might get a buyer, some Seahawks buyer that wants it.
Yeah, I think that's probably where I'll use it the most. There are a lot of nights when I'm digging through a backstock box where I've just thrown everything into that and I figure I'll sort it out later. And I'm like, okay, are these names worth my time to list? Yeah. That'll be a nice feature to just scan some of them and quickly see that.
Yeah, exactly. Johnny's here. He says, evening, fellas. Evening, Johnny. I like to get the team name in there too. Yeah, exactly. I do too. That's usually where I do my edits if I run out of characters. Is that what you do too? Yeah, it's funny we talk about these little quirky things. It's as different as you and I are. We're very similar on a lot of things too. But yeah, so if I run out of characters because I got a bunch of parallels names in there and it's Musin Muhammad, blah blah blah, like these long names that take up a lot of characters. So instead of having like Carolina Panthers, I just shorten it to Panthers.
Right.
Yep. So that's where, for those of you looking for the listing do's and don'ts, that's where I would suggest you remove information.
Yeah, I always have the team name in my template, but then if I get the red dot and I'm too long, I'll take out the first name or I'll abbreviate like Green Bay, GB, or New England, NE if it's some pretty common ones. There are some that I have to delete out the whole team name.
Yep, same. I've had that too.
And I hate it every time I have to do it.
Same, because you're like, man, now it's not going to get found, which is completely moronic. But yeah,
right.
Yeah, it causes the reservation to kick in. Yeah, because sometimes when I scan a card too, like the team name will come up in the card too.
Yeah,
like it'll be like Packers team checklist or something. Like, well, I don't need Green Bay Packers at the end of this listing then. So sometimes your duplicity shows up, in the team side of information as well.
That happens a lot with like the police sets and stuff. Usually the team name is in the set name.
Yep. Yeah, or if it's like Topps Baseball does this, right? They always have like duo player cards, Dodgers swinging the bats today or whatever, right? And it's got like Mookie and, whoever on the card. And it's like, okay, well, I don't need Los Angeles Dodgers at the end of this card.
Yeah.
You know, especially because those cards have multiple players on it. So now it says Mookie Betts and Shohei Ohtani and Freddie Freeman. It's like, geez, I can't. I'd rather keep those names in it than I would another list, titling of the Dodgers.
Here's a quirk that drives me nuts. When it is a combo card, why does the listing always put in spaces between the slash and the names? That's 2 more characters I could have used.
Right. Yeah, I think eBay kind of shortchanges us on how much we can put in there in a title, because I feel like other platforms I list on, I have more space. I never really counted like how many characters they allow it and whatever. I just put it in, and you're right. When I get the red dot, I change it, but it feels like eBay is a lot more limiting. Not a lot, just some more limiting than than other platforms. Jeff has joined us. He says, "Hello, sirs. Who looked at YouTube's year-end recap? Did anybody else have at the dollar box at top of their list for most watched YouTube channel of the year, or just me? 2026 will get JC3 up there." Oh, there you go. Yeah, he's JC3. Charlie here has been a lot more active, posting things outside of this show on his channel. I haven't been doing a whole lot. So, I mean, most of my videos were kind of getting down to the sales day videos. I thought about doing like another card show video. I haven't done one of those in a while, where it's just kind of like me digging in boxes, and maybe I'll do that this weekend, since I don't have a table or anything. I'm just attending, but we'll see. But I appreciate you watching even the older videos. I have some good older stuff out there. I feel like a lot of times I feel like I made the videos I wanted to make, like how to ship, and even though they're maybe a tad out of date now, but how to pack cards, or different types of strategies and listings and things like that. I feel like I put most of that out there, and I haven't had major enough changes where I want to redo the videos. And we talk mostly about that stuff that in the weekly show here. So I feel like I can still get my messages out that I want to share without having to do like a recorded video. But your blogs are good, Charlie. I've been paying attention. I liked the live selling versus buy it now selling blog. I listened to that one. I thought you had some good insight there. I think that's a good platform to have those types of conversations, right? Where you need data on one side and data on the other side. And then you make your mind up. You go decide what you want to do with this. That's better than like, if I made a video and I'm on it, I'm probably just going to give you mostly my opinion because it's my video. Versus the blog sort of is more reporter style, right? So you're kind of taking the bias out, and you're just saying, hey, this is the information, and figure out what you want to do with it. But so
I'm enjoying it. It's my thought process with that is every week I want to try to learn a little bit more about something, and then I just want to share what I learned in that week. Every week I pick a topic and I do some research on it, and then I share what I learned on that. So hopefully it helps others. I know it's helping me. The process of doing this is helping me get better in this business,
And it's nice not having to do the video and stuff, right? You just do record the voice, and then, you put something in there if you need to, but
some weeks I put a little more than other weeks. It just depends on how much time I have. And
Flipping Sports Guy says it is nice when you have a 10 quantity of a card, and once one finally sells, the others start to go too. Sales history on a listing is a big plus. 1,000%. I completely agree with you. And that was exactly why I did it for so long. It's just gotten a little more complicated now with listing on other platforms and things that, and Charlie's right. I used an example earlier of like, if I got 12 copies, I scan them into individual. He's right. If I had that many, I would do it as one listing with multiple quantities. But it's pretty rare I pick up like 12 copies of anything anymore, for the most part.
Yeah. It is great when it hits the algorithm though. Like right now, I have an Aaron Judge Stars of the MLB quantity listing that, like, oh, it's another day. Here's a couple more sales from that, you know.
Yeah, those cards are interesting because they get tossed in like quarter boxes and stuff because they're such a
Yeah.
common insert.
Yeah.
And I buy them all the time, and people want them. So it's like it's weird how that happens that way. I was going to see if I had that Favre Pinnacle Mint card, but yeah, I just talked about that one, and like I said, I had 6 or 7 copies of it left, and they just boom, 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 and it's filling the order this morning. I got one left. I'll put it back in the drawer. I sold it today, so I was able to empty that bag out. But yeah, it's nice when you have the multiples and something goes. Now, if they just sit there, it doesn't really. You have no advantage. You need a sale on it in order to really get it to go. Yeah, doing 10 to 15 a day by hand wasn't a big deal. Now with me doing 50 to 75, I'm like, yeah, I need to rethink this. Yeah, absolutely. It's inventory management's the biggest part of what we do. And I can see why that's a lot of people, especially new people, make the decision to just do live, right? You just take a box of cards, you send them all, list them all live, you pack them and you ship them and you're done. You don't have to control all the inventory. But if you favor the more buy it now type controlled selling environment, such as Charlie and I like to do, yeah, you have to have a very good inventory system, or you're just gonna kick yourself in the head all the time, waste a lot of time.
I've got a question for the chat. So I did watch my end of year wrap up from YouTube. But the question now is, how do I get back to it if I want to look at it again? Because I think it was pushed to me in like a notification. But I don't necessarily see any place you can go out and find it again.
What was pushed to you? I'm sorry.
The end of year recap.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't do that kind of stuff, so I have no idea where it is.
I always look at my Spotify one too, and this year they added this thing. Well, I think it was new this year, but they added your age based on your listing preferences.
Oh,
and mine was right on. Pretty close. It said 50, but what cracks me up about that is I have like a 23-year-old that works on my team, and her age on Spotify was like 60, and she's like, "What the hell is going on here?"
She's not listening to enough K-pop Demon Hunters, I guess.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have Spotify, so that wouldn't do anything for me. But yeah, I don't know. I've never been into that. Like, what do you watch? My stuff gets really random, and I go in streaks of stuff. Like, I'll watch card content videos for a while, and then I'll be like, I don't want to watch any of this. And then I'm watching like old Christmas commercials this time of year, and like I don't really need to see how that ranks in my viewing order. But I think it's kind of neat that they offer it, because I think people do like to sort of go back and say, you know, what did I spend my time on this year? You know, maybe it says something about you that you either do really like or that you don't really like. Allows you to make an adjustment in the new year if you have to.
Yeah, it does. It is interesting to look back though, like the YouTube one, looking back to see what I watched. And I have some pretty dedicated categories that I look at, because in addition to the card selling, I learn a lot of new guitar songs on there. So there's always these guitar tab things I'm always watching and stuff. And like, you can really tell a lot about your hobbies by looking at your recap.
Yeah, I would think so. But I mean, for the most part, if you look at your list, isn't it what you would expect to be on there?
Yeah, it is.
So, like, why do you need to see it? I guess I don't. That's the part I don't get. Like, I know what's going to be on there. Why do I don't know. This is just me.
Yeah, that's fair. You should know what's on there, but sometimes there's some surprising things out there.
Yeah, it's like watching the entire sports game. I don't understand that. I can just go watch the highlights in like 15 minutes when it's done.
I will say on Spotify, mine is always interesting because I'm too cheap to pay for the family plan. So we're all listening off the same account. And then there's a bunch of music that I'm like, I would never listen to that. Where's that coming from? And it's Mrs. JC3.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I pretty much, for any streaming music I do, I pretty much just use Pandora. I've had it forever. I built a bunch of channels and I just go off of that. It's
Yeah.
free. I don't do the ad free. They don't throw a ton of ads on it anyway. I get a fair amount of skips. So, that one's been good enough for me. But I'm not like an avid music listener. I don't like sit in my office and put headphones on and stuff. I really only listen to it if I'm in a car for the most part.
Yeah.
Right now I'm into like different Christmas music. So like the 12 Pains of Christmas, I've listened to that. You ever hear the song Teenage Dirtbag by Wheatus?
Yeah.
They made a cover of their own song a few years ago about Santa. It's pretty good. Yeah, with that same song.
Nice.
The song Fancy Like Christmas, have you heard that one?
Sounds familiar, actually.
Yeah, it's like a country pop artist, which I know is totally not me, but just watch it. Well, or not, I guess you could watch the video, but listen to the song, you'll dig it. That's what I've been kind of looking for lately, is like more non-traditional. I'm in that stage of my holiday listening. I've heard Wham enough times that now I'm looking for something else.
Last Christmas?
Yeah. This is a good idea. Johnny says he scans a card off Whatnot he's interested in bidding on to make sure he doesn't overpay. That's a great idea because it'd be a quick search. For that card, you wouldn't have to do a lot of digging, a lot of typing in, and it if you can do it in a few seconds, it should allow you to get in on the bid before it sells out. I think a lot of people could use that tool because people overpay for cards on live selling, and I don't get that at all. That makes no sense to me. Well, it's for the hangout and the entertainment. No, that's crap. I don't overpay for something just because some used car salesman's on a live show pushing it to me. I don't know.
That's just you, though.
It is. It's total. I don't think it's just me. I think there's other people like me, but yeah, that's. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. Okay.
Yep, I just found my recap. There's the dollar box in there.
Oh, you actually watched my videos? I didn't think that was true.
Well, you're not number one. I didn't say you're number one.
Didn't figure I was. I wasn't even in the top 8 of people you appreciated. So, how could I be in the top 8 of channels you watch?
I have a feeling that my son is using my account too, because the number 1 on my list is one that he watches religiously. I watch it too, but he usually tells me what happens before I watch it.
Like a wrestling one or something?
Yeah, it's
wrestling. I figured. Joe has a tip. He says he does not use the word prism more than once in a particular posting. I do that too.
Yeah.
Because it'll be 2024 Prism football, blah blah blah, silver prism parallel. Like, okay, just put silver. You don't need the prism again.
I'll leave it twice if it's not back to back and it fits. The one that always causes me a short circuit is like 2024 mosaic prism.
Right. But mosaic prism is a parallel.
It is, but I can't stand having them back to back.
Yeah, because there's mosaic silver prism and then there's mosaic prism.
Yes.
It's mosaic silver prism, I guess, technically. But yeah, that set is weird. Like, why do you have 2 silvers in one product? But it's the effects of overprinting, really. Dan says the quirk that drives him nuts in CDP is sometimes the number of the card has a random letter like B added for no reason. Yeah, straight up. I end up going and deleting out that stupid additional letter, and you can thank Junk Wax for a lot of that. So, this one's got a dot at the end. This one has a copyright logo on the back, and this one doesn't. So there's an A, B, C, and D version of everything. And
it's very important to some collectors.
It is, but I'm not going to take the time and research all that on any individual card. So I don't know if Card Dealer Pro picks it up correctly. Like, dot on the back is small or something like that, I delete all of that plus the letter after the card number, and I just list the card as the card. I have an actual picture of the card. If you're like, oh, is this the one with the small dot on the back? You can go look at it yourself. And if you're going to get a better deal on some random stupid error that I don't care about, great, have it. You can have the card. That's the way I look at it. Because there's no way I would have paid a premium for it because it's got a small dot on the back anyway. So I'd still be making my normal margin. Dan says he loves watching card show videos, so please do. Yeah, I know if I appreciate everybody watching them, and I know when I put videos out, I do get positive feedback, and that's amazing. That does help me keep going with it. I'm just kind of at a phase where I just don't feel like making videos, and then my content's gonna suck because of that, and just time crunches on other stuff I'm doing. So yeah, still not gonna get a lot of videos for a while yet out of me. And then I kind of feel like if I open more time, I'd rather use that time to do live selling, schedule shows versus making videos. But I don't know. We'll see. Best part of my week is grabbing a Monday morning coffee while watching my so-called card life. There you go.
Well, thanks. That's exactly what I was hoping for when I put that together and set the release schedule. I was thinking selfishly about myself. Like when I try to find card content, I can't watch a video when I'm in the office, but I can listen. So I wanted to create something that someone could listen to on their drive or just put in their earbuds and listen while they're doing other things. Because that's the type of content that I always look for.
I agree. There's a place for all of it, right? Yeah, you're right. Somebody driving in a car, you're not gonna shouldn't be watching a video.
Right.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they don't overpay in my lives. LOL. Johnny, so you're more the typical. Okay, so there's this, and Charlie touched about this on his blog. There's all this like, oh, cards sell for triple if you just sell them in a live form. That's not true. Most of them sell for less because you need to find the right buyer. It's a short time frame to flip it. Most of them are going to sell for less than they would at a fixed price market. You'll have those occasions where you'll get more, and I get that when I do eBay auctions too. Don't do as many now as I used to, but when I was selling gaming miniatures, I would sell like the little sets, of sub factions or whatever in groups, and it's like you could buy each individual figure for like $1, so it'd be like $3 for the whole group, right? But then I'd put these auctions out there and somebody would pay like $19 for the group. I'm like, why are you doing that? You could have got the whole thing for $6 if you'd have bought them individually, right?
Right.
But it was like, oh, they were all there. There was one convenient auction, and I needed the whole subset, and so I found myself with a little kind of niche there where I could get some extra money out of a lot of those listings, but it makes zero sense. And for as many as I would sell that way, many of the other ones would just sell for normal price or less than what I was asking on a fixed listing. So I wasn't really coming out like a lot ahead on those ones where people would overpay because there were enough of them where people didn't want to pay full price. But it is a quick way to turn some inventory. So I still think the best method, and I'm not exactly practicing what I preach here, but I still think the best way to be successful in this business is to do static listings on multiple platforms and live selling. I still think that's the best way to do it. Yeah, I think it needs to be a combination of both. And then you have to kind of figure out like, this is the real challenge, and it's going to forever be changing as well. But you have to kind of figure out like, okay, these cards would be best on live selling and these cards would be best on buy it now. And that's where I struggle the most, because when I try to pull cards for a live show, I'm like, but I could just list this in my store and it'll sell today for full price. Why the hell put it in a live show? And that's been true time and time and time again. I have enough customer base and been around long enough and have enough cards listed that that's generally what's going to move. And then I get my price. I don't have to worry about, it not getting a price that I want to get. And most of the time when that card sells, they buy other cards, so you end up with just as many, if not more, bulk sales than you do like in a live show where somebody buys like a bunch of cards because they already bought one. They might as well buy more because of shipping or whatever. So yeah, but I think the best combination is to do some live selling, find a live selling audience that works for you to sell certain cards, and then the rest gets listed in a fixed market.
Yep, I agree. The hybrid model is kind of where ideally you'd want to settle, but you can't. You're often, or most people are not going to be successful trying to do both immediately from the start. Pick a lane, get really good at it, and then work the next lane in. But there's a cycle you want to build to where a live show then gets you new customers that get to know you, and then they check out your eBay Buy It Now listings and make a purchase and become a repeat buyer, and then also come back to the lives.
Yeah, because I was thinking about this the other day. I'm like, why is there so much hype right now for live selling? We see it actively in our Discord, which, by the way, the link's coming down around again here, so make sure you join. It's free. But I think it's a lot of new sellers, right? So think if you were brand new, right? When we started this show, you were new and you didn't know a lot, and there was a lot of work to put in, and now you're kind of in my position at that time, and now you have to look at the new people, right?
Yeah.
And if you're new to this and you don't have a bunch of inventory listed and you still got to buy cards, right? You need to get inventory. So you need sales so you can buy more inventory, right? What is going to be your best platform to start on? It's going to be live selling. I can go buy out a dealer table at a show, just list all this stuff, take what I can get.
See,
you know what I mean?
We had a difference of opinion there. You said live selling, I said Buy It Now selling.
See, I disagree because the live selling takes, or the static selling takes so long to build up business. Whereas live selling, you just need a few cards and you can do a show and start building an audience.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the experience with my son opening his store has shown me otherwise. And I think the Buy It Now gets you the basics of the business to go then flip a show.
I'm not saying it's the best way to do it. I agree with you. I think building a solid business is better than like just constantly flipping quick stuff.
If you just wanted to make quick bucks off of something, though.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct.
Gotcha.
So like if you're a brand new and you're like, I got a box of cards and I want to sell them, that's going to be where you're probably going to go, in most cases, unless you want to build a long-term growth sustaining business strategy where you're storing a lot of inventory. Like that just doesn't sound appealing at all, even when I say it. And that's exactly how I run my business. But I can see where a lot of people are like, well, I just have this box of cards and I could do a live show and be done with it. And then I get another box of cards. Okay, well, I'll do another live show. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just the quickness, the convenience, I can get $10. Yeah, I could get $20 for this tomorrow, but I could get $10 today if I just throw this stuff up there quick.
Right.
All right. Did Charlie just say Adam was number 2 on his history list? Sorry, the Beavis and Butthead and me can't miss a poop joke.
Who does number 2 work for?
Nice. They're always after me, Lucky Charms. It's a television commercial. We just watched that movie the other day and it still holds up.
Of course.
It's pretty good. The only thing that kind of makes me chuckle is, that when he's talking to his henchman, right? And he says, we're going to ask for $1 million. And you're like, well, $1 million isn't exactly a lot of money. And then he's like, $1 billion. I'm like, geez, that's not even that much money anymore.
Right?
There's a lot of guys that could pay that off, and then it's like 100 billion or what, then it makes more sense. But yeah, crazy how fast the times have changed on money. Keith said he has checked his YouTube recap. I'm in the top 0.1% of the Dollar Box viewers. That's because I have so many viewers. It's hard to creep into that 1% lane. JC3 is sitting in third place. I've kept up with the Card Life series and enjoy it. So that's
Appreciate
awesome.
that.
It's awesome that we have viewers on both sides, because the stuff Charlie does is definitely different than what I would do. So, and that's where I think we add a lot of value to each other, because I think people who only want to hang out with people who are exactly like them, I think that's the biggest mistake you can make in life, is
Fair.
only surrounding yourself with, and I'm not talking like politics or any of that. That's a whole other ball game, or religion or any of that. But I think that only surrounding yourself with people who think exactly like you do, I think you're really leaving a lot on the table in your life that you're not looking at. So I like people. I like people who agree with me on stuff. I'm not a total moron. Everybody likes to feel like they're right. Um, but I like it when I can talk to somebody else and they say, well, yeah, but think about this. And Charlie does that a lot for me. So that's been valuable in my life. So
Yeah, and vice versa. Like there's a lot of systemic things that I started off very very strict on, that you've shown me that there's more variability and certain things don't matter as much as you might think they matter and things like that. So yeah, it's important to have people around that do some things differently and have different ideas about things. That's how we grow, right? Not just us as individuals, but our businesses as well.
And like I said earlier, business needs to change continuously. If you're going to be a good manager, a good business owner, you can't just sit there and say, well, this is what I do, and for the next 100 years, this is what I'm doing. You have to constantly review it. And one of the best ways to do that is to have somebody else that does it differently.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it sort of
Yeah.
forces you to review it. I don't know.
You know what I hear you saying all the time in that little voice on my shoulder when I'm working on things for my store?
Oh God, do I even want to know?
I hear Adam saying, well, I don't do any of that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't do any of that. Um, I spend most of my time when I review things I'm doing in my business. I spend most of my time reviewing how I spend my time, because I think that's the biggest thing. I don't want to, I want to make more money. I want more sales. Like I want all those things too, but not if it's going to eat up all my time,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Because the older I get, the more I value, time with my daughter, time with my dogs, time at my
Yep.
house, time with my wife, decorating my house for Christmas. Like that stuff where like maybe in the past I would have been like, oh, I have to do this now, where I could be listing cards, make money.
Yeah.
Now, like that stuff has a lot of value to me, more value than it ever had in the past. And part of it is like watching your parents get older and their health is failing. And like, I think things just open your eyes differently as you get older. And
Yeah.
I'm just at that point where I'm like, I could sell 30 more cards today if I hosted a quick live show, but then I wouldn't get to, you know, play a game with my daughter or build a fire in the fireplace and sit with my dogs. Like I don't know. You can't trade everything in for more money either. And I think it's easy to do when you have a business like this, because you could literally work 24 hours a day,
You can.
and you would make more money if you did that. You should, or you're really futile in your efforts. But um, I think that's the biggest thing that I always want to review now is, okay, can I do this faster? Can I do this quicker? Can I do less of this and still make what I need to make, to be able to pay bills or whatever, right? Um, so I kind of evaluate that stuff differently that way. And I hate doing something twice.
Yeah. On
So
that
that,
note, you would be very proud of me. Over the last couple weeks, I've made a few listings of $1.99 cards where the image was not perfect. Like it wasn't centered when it came out of CDP, and one of the card borders was right up against the top of the image or something. And I heard your little voice there going, I would just list that as a $1.99 card. It doesn't bother me. And you're right. Like I find myself thinking, like, okay, I'm listing it as $1.99. I'm probably going to take an offer, and then in the end, I'm going to make a dime, maybe 20 cents on this. Do I really want to scan it again or take a manual picture for that card? No.
Did you sell any of those?
Yes, I did.
So, so, so here's the thing with stuff like that. And this is again where we're good being opposites. You got to try it. And if you get results and the thing sells, then you go, why the hell would I waste my time on this?
Right.
You know,
right.
I think it's a little bit different. Like you said, if it's a more valuable card, obviously.
Yeah.
I also think it's a little different if it's like a vintage or something that's more condition sensitive or something where somebody would need to see that image a little bit better. But I've even gotten to the point where I don't use my own images on certain things because I want to do more scanning. So I'll scan like 2025 mosaic cards where it cuts the freaking sides off. And then I just download the stock photo and put that in with my banner instead.
So that's actually the first one I did, Adam. It was a Tiffany Stratton WWE card that chopped a little bit off the edges, and I didn't catch it before it went through to the listing.
Yeah.
And my instinct was like, all right, I got to take that down and redo it, change the pictures. And then I'm like, most of what the buyer wants to see is right there. It's Tiffany Stratton, front and center. All that's there in all her glory. This is probably still going to sell. And it did.
Yeah. And you could have gone with the stock photo and then just re-added your banner. I think I showed you how to do that. So those of you who don't know how to do that, that is something you can do as well if you use banners like Charlie and I do. So you can still brand it, even though it's like a generic photo. If it's a modern card, it's not, they don't need to necessarily see the specific card. And when you're doing quantity listings, they're not seeing the specific card either. And we do listings that way. So it's not really any different. But yeah, I want to do a lot more scanning. I don't want to spend time listing individual cards as much as I used to. I'm just at a different point of how I spend my time. I think when you're building your business, you have to be more particular because you need somebody to put some faith and trust in you. Some of these cards, I'll scan them, like you said, cut off corners. I'll put a, generic image in or whatever. Well, I have these regular buyers, and as soon as I list stuff, like they buy it all up anyway. They don't, I could probably put no photo in there and it would still sell because I'm the one selling it and they bought from me before, So, if you have a regular customer base, you can get away with a little bit more too. On the short side of things, but because I used to do that too. Like when I would get it where it would cut off the sides, I would just list it as the image with the cut off sides. And then I was like, okay, well, that's still not as good as at least having the whole image of the card, even if it's not my image. Yeah. So that I started doing it that way. And then at least I have like full, always full photos of cards. I don't worry about the back so much. If it cuts off part of the back, I could really give a crap for the photo of the back. But so there's a lot of ways to cut out some time, and still get your sales and things like that. And I think that's the thing that I will constantly reevaluate till the day I don't want to do this anymore or the day I die, whichever comes first. Might be both at the same time. I constantly want to look at, okay, how do I improve sales, keep sales, whatever, but I'm spending less time getting everything ready for it to be bought. When I think about a live show, like I take a stack of cards right like this, right? And this is my batch. I put them in the scanner. It takes me 3 minutes to get them listed, 5 minutes to get them listed, whatever it takes for just basic base cards, right?
Yeah.
And then, I list them and then I sell a bunch of them right away. I'm like, that's kind of like doing a live show in my eyes, right? I'm sort of getting the same results without having to go on live and like show off each card.
Yeah.
I'm getting that same type of performance. So I had a bunch of 1991 Topps football, right? Super overproduced year, nothing fancy. Paper cards. I had a stack of like big name players. So it was like Tim Brown and I'm trying to think of who else, Jerry Rice, and like decent names, right? Scanned them in, so I grabbed a stack of those, probably 20 or 30 cards of those I had. I scanned them in, listed them. I probably sold half of them like within an hour. So it's weird like that. And that stuff's been sitting in a box for a long time. I'm just like, who wants 1991 Topps football?
Right.
But recently that stuff's been my bestseller, junk wax stuff, which is weird. So strong coupons, good advertising, good customer base. Like you can skip a lot of what you would feel are required steps of listing.
Yeah.
If you have those numbers working in your favor.
I agree.
Let's see. I think we got one more chat in here. Let's see. Yep. Looks like this one from Johnny. Sorry, Adam, you're number 2 on my YouTube list, mostly because I'm not into sales day or show videos. Well, that would kind of eliminate me. Plus I don't make videos much anymore at all. I'm sorry, Charlie, you didn't make my top 5, mostly because you don't put out a lot of videos. And that's just it. There's content for everyone. So that doesn't bother me that I'm not top 5. Oh, I'm number 2. I guess that's pretty good. I guess that's pretty good. But yeah, sometimes it shocks me because I'll get a message from somebody and they'll be like, "Oh, I've been binging your videos. I watched like 8 hours straight of like all your." I'm like, "Wow, that's crazy to me," right? Because I wouldn't have expected anybody to watch 8 hours of my stupid face. But that to me says like, okay, at least the content I made is still entertaining, right? Or still has good information in it.
Relevant.
And then that just kind of confirms back to me again, okay, I don't need to remake these videos. I don't need to put, this out. I can pretty much get out the stuff I need to talk about in the lives. It's a lot more time management. It's a lot more interactive. I feel like there's better value to that than just, recording myself. So that's kind of why I do it. The sales day videos definitely has a following. So I should put those out a little bit more frequently. I don't even do like the first of the day sale. I like looking at them from you guys in the Discord, and I never do one, and I don't know why. Yesterday I was like, oh, I had a really nice stack of sales from Sunday, so I'm like, yeah, I'll take this. I'll take my stack picture. I haven't done that in a while, and I'll throw that in there. I think because I get up super early to work, so I'm down here at like 4 a.m. most of the time, and I just start working. I grab my cards, I start pulling cards, and I usually put some YouTube video on the TV or watch highlights of games from the day before, and I just start packing orders and doing work, right? And then I'm like, oh, I could have made a video of that, or oh, I could have made I don't know. It's just not in my head anymore that the video doesn't pop up as my first instinct.
Yeah.
When you stop doing it for a while,
Yeah, I don't put them up every day anymore. I try to get a couple out there every week, but similar in that I usually have about 30 minutes before I leave for the office in the morning to, pack a few cards. Lately, I've been doing the advent calendar thing.
Yep.
So I just don't have a lot of extra time, but when I get a chance, I still like to throw something out there. Like this morning, I think it was this morning, I put out the ponies that sold overnight.
Yep. Yeah, My Little Pony. Great play. Always a great play. Been doing my calendar too. I did pull a suit card. Have you gotten one? Oh, you didn't do the absolute box, did you? So this is what they call a holiday suit card. And it's Shamar Stewart. I don't even know who that is, but
yeah, I don't know either.
So it's got this cool like red velvet like suit material in there. It's pretty sweet.
It's like the gift sack.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, like his present bag. Yeah. So kind of fun. Kind of like when they used to do the sweaters, right? Same idea. No, it's Panini, so I kind of don't care. If it was Topps, it would at least be like player worn or something probably, but Panini doesn't do anything cool. And then I did get I got one of my buyback cards already too. Can't remember who it was though.
Yeah, wasn't I got Greg Maddux.
Yeah, was it? Well, that's a pretty good one. Greg Maddux has good hobby. I don't think mine was a
Maybe like
very
a
good one. I can't
2009
remember
or
anymore.
something like that.
Oh, mine was a purple Topps Chrome refractor from
Okay.
2021. And I can't remember who it was. Miller? I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. I think I listed it already. Maybe not. Maybe it's in my, because that was that's a single card you get in a pack. Yeah, I think I listed it already. But I did get my Evergreen pack showed up today, so I got Hank Aaron.
Yep, I got
So
that.
pretty cool. I got Freddie Freeman. And I got Bobby Witt Jr. Bobby Witt Jr. has been dominating my calendar. I've gotten his naughty list or nice list card twice
Okay.
already. So only 10 packs in, and I already got 3 cards of him, all 3 inserts. But I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world to get Bobby Witt Jr. cards.
No. Yeah, my buyback was a 2009 Topps Greg Maddux for the LA Dodgers.
Yeah, I'd have to go look it up because I don't remember what mine was. I know it was a purple refractor because I was like, oh, that's weird. So it really wasn't very vintage. It was like 2021 or something.
Yeah.
Which store am I in? Oh, I'm in the right store. That's neat. That'll help.
Seems like a good thing.
Yeah. Let's see. Did I list it as a buyback? How did I list it, Charlie? You tell me.
I would think you would have buyback in there because that's where the value comes from, right?
Yeah. I mean, what I did was, did I scan that or did I list it by hand? I think I scanned it. And then I just added because obviously it doesn't show up in scans. You know, like AI doesn't read it as a buyback, but.
Right. It'll try to list the original 2009 and that's
Right. So I just edited it and put like the buyback thing in there. Let's see what I get. That's what it was. Zach Wheeler.
Oh, okay.
Zach Wheeler, purple refractor from 2021.
Okay.
Now you get 2 buybacks. I haven't hit my other one yet, so
Right, I haven't either.
we'll see what we get. But fun, very fun product. I like stuff like that. It's fun doing it day by day. We did something kind of fun this year because I have a calendar pretty much every year. And it's fun to do it by yourself. But this year, everybody in the family got one. So we got a bark box for the dogs. So they've got a treat or a toy to open each day. Luna got like a smart putty one where she gets putty and then like things you can put in the putty and that. And then I bought my wife a Clue calendar. I think I talked about this already, but got her a calendar with like the game Clue. So each day she gets different clues and yeah. So she's got to solve that to figure out what the next door is that she can open. So they're not even numbered. Like you have to actually figure out where to go the next day. So she's having a blast with that, right up her alley. So it's fun because each night it's like, okay, we have dinner. Let's get our calendars. That's kind of where I was talking about. That's how I'd rather spend my time than like making sure the $1.99 Chrome card has a perfect scan.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Not really the best investment of my time.
Yeah.
So, all right. Anything else? I think that's all I got for tonight. I think we're caught up on the chat. I gotta go back to I'm in my eBay now. I gotta go back to the StreamYard. Here we go. Oh, we got a couple more. Poor Charlie doesn't get credit for the lives. Yeah, so it's a good point. He does. I mean, we all acknowledge him, of course, but yeah, as far as like his channel, no. You can only post, a live video to one channel. So unfortunately he doesn't get that, but we could do a live on his channel. But that gets complicated because then you're trying to get your audience over to another channel, and
I think we're good just the way we're going.
Yeah. So it's not, when you're doing live stuff, the views that you get live, you don't get monetized for anyway because there's no ads, right? So The only benefit to as far as like getting credit, I don't know if that's the best way to put it, but as far as like getting a monetary payment for it is like if people watch it after it's been recorded. So live itself doesn't do a whole lot.
Yeah, I think we're fine. I'm not worried about it.
This is terrible. You're banned.
Oh,
Charlie doesn't get credit for the live, so Adam should send him some givvies. I got some givvies for you. I give you. I give you one. Givvies is I don't know.
That strikes a nerve with you.
God, it's so gross. And it's such a horrible word. I feel like I'm talking to a 2-year-old. That's what they do is add Y's to everything. Givey. I don't know. I don't go to, and I don't go to. I don't do whatnot, like buy on whatnot. So, have you been in shows where that's what they call it?
Like all of them.
That makes me want to stay away more. Like I'm all about giveaways. I think that's cool, but like if I have to do a live show and call it a givey, I'm out. I just won't do live shows. I don't want to do that.
Keep drawing a hard line.
That's not the type of audience I want to connect with. Well, you have to decide what's for you and what isn't, right? If it's working for those guys doing it and whatnot, great. Have at it. I don't have to participate in it, right? So I did buy a bunch more lots of Bo Jackson cards, by the way. The Bo Jackson game.
Really?
Stuff. Yeah, they've been doing like super, super well for me. So I'm going to expand more in that area. I found a secret way that I list them that gets me more sales. So I'm going to try to exploit that for as long as I can.
There you go.
Yeah. So that's about the only new thing I have going on. Card show Saturday. Obviously you're not going to attend, so I get best crack at the boxes. So that's nice. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Okay.
So
yeah, I'm still just pounding through the retail season. It's been nice to see the sales come back pretty strong. It's kind of that double-edged sword, right? Like in my podcast this week, I had a brief comment about buy it now sellers sometimes deal with the death by 1,000 listings phenomenon, and that is when you get to a certain point of listing, all the work that goes with it sometimes can get overwhelming, right? Like packing and shipping and listing more and sourcing. But it's good when you have those things to do. It means your business is working, right? And it's one of the ways to tell if buy it now listing is best for you or live selling, because if you're drained by all that work, maybe live selling is good for you. But if you're energized from doing that work, then buy it now is a good lane for you. And that's kind of where I'm sitting recently. Like, it seems like every night I've got an agenda of what I want to get done, and I'm not getting it all done because I'm shipping cards that I've sold.
Right. But it's just a different way of how you spend your time. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So on the live, you're going to spend more time sourcing, because if you're selling stuff faster, you got to buy more stuff regularly. You still have to pack, you still have to ship, you still have to, answer questions. You have to perform the lives, so you have to be on camera for certain periods of time, and like you're just investing your time differently. I think it takes as much, if not more, unless you're really efficient, to list and ship and live sell and ship. It's different tasks, same time consumption.
Yep, it is.
All right. Well, let's end it here. I think we're at the 2-hour mark, so perfect timing.
All right.
Anything else you want to add?
What do we got for a recap tonight? Let's see.
Oh yeah, that's right. Get to your notes, Charlie.
We scanned smarter. We advented harder. We did a little comparison of live selling and buy it now selling. We relived a year of YouTube emotions. We tightened up titles a little bit. We dodged some CDP oddities, and we tried to charm that multi-quantity algorithm a little bit. So it was a pretty eventful list of topics, even though we came in with only one, right? We talked about the eBay scan tool, which has got some promising things built into it. It sounds like some people have adopted it a lot. Others are, like myself, are still looking for that perfect case use, but pretty good show. So all I got to say is until next week, keep listening, keep learning, and keep laughing through the quirks.
Nice. That, and make sure you list so you can sell. We'll see you next week.